Hey guys, it's Dave again. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to Dave's Dimension, the channel where chaos and insanity reigns supreme. We're back again for another unbox today. What do we have? Well, as of late, I've been on a little bit of a Power Rangers kick. That is after building the big bad right behind me, my full-scale BOK pack, my pride and joy right now. Been doing a few unboxings. We just recently did Green Ranger Lightning Collection and Z-Putty Lightning Collection, along with some Funkos, a couple different things. Hey, it's the holidays, Christmas time. So this is my way of kind of having a little bit of fun, doing some craziness all over the place, and hopefully give you guys some insight on some new items that you may want to get after the holiday season. We'll see what happens. So, what do we have today? Well, we got a little bit of an unbox. I got my hands on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lost in Space 2-pack, which features Andros the Red Ranger and his nemesis, Astronema, who actually is later to revealed to be someone very close to him. So I got this. This was actually Target. So this is, if you notice the little dark background here, with the black, that shows that this is a Target exclusive. So I was very fortunate to get this, and I have another one coming. Not this one, but another two-pack, which we'll do in a different video. So I'm really excited on this. I know some people have been a little disappointed in some aspects when it comes to the Lightning figures, either how there's been a few conflicts or a few what's the word I'm looking for? A few gripes, if you will, about accessories and also paint applications, especially when it comes to the faces. A lot of my figures right now I have been displaying with their helmets still on. Originally, I was doing them with just their heads, but some of the heads are good and some not so much. So, with this, I'm probably going to keep Andros's helmet on because, well, I like the space helmet, the Power Rangers in space helmet, and of course, there's no alternate head for Astronema. But I always liked the Power Rangers in space, so that's why I decided to get the 2-pack. I was hoping that, maybe they would throw a little bit more accessories in here. I was really hoping for Galaxy Glider, but I know that's not going to happen. The the space surf glider that he had. Now, what's cool, at least from what I can see here, he has his spiral saber. He has his blaster and an alternate head. And of course there's an energy effect for when both the weapons strike. Now let's take a look at the box itself. Of course we have some nice atypical art. Now the face on Astronema, not that great as far as the art on the box. Of course, as always, you guys have heard me say this plenty of times, I am not an inbox collector. Even though this box is pretty much mint, I am not planning to keep this box. I'm going to probably stow it for now. Like I said, I'm not planning to keep the box, but if there's anyone out there who has an interest in this box, I'm going to keep it protected as much as possible. And if you have an interest, and if I haven't destroyed it or tossed it away, you can always drop me a line in the comment section below or email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com. That is also in the description below. I'm not trying to make any money, but if someone really wants this box, I know people have sold boxes on eBay, which personally I don't see, the necessity for that, but I get it for those people who maybe they get a loose item and they want to try and preserve it or keep some of the collectability by holding on to the box. That's not me, guys. I'm going to be cracking these guys right out of the box, and we'll see what happens. So now one thing I do notice on here, there's tape on here. Not your atypical Scotch tape, but there's some packing tape on here. I don't believe that this was opened. I'm hoping not. There's a piece of tape on this side, piece of tape on the opposite side. Now, this is my first 2-pack opener. So maybe that is operating procedure for Hasbro. I don't know. It's just the single figures that I've gotten in the past. They have not had any tape or adhesive on it. Just the flap, you open it up, and Bob's your uncle. But you guys can probably see. Let me see if I can get that right there. Maybe you can't see it. There's some tape right there. Now, of course, they have Lightning Collection branding everywhere. In Space Red Ranger. And we have Astronema. And we have In Space branding on here. So, without further ado, what do you say we get right to this, guys? Okay? Okay, guys. So here we are. Ready to unbox Power Rangers Lightning Collection, In Space Red Ranger, and Astronema 2-pack. So this is an In Space 2-pack. Again, a nice little look at the visual art here. Please excuse the mess around my desk. I also use this as a workspace, so workspace for my daily job. Now from here, I'm not too crazy about the way her face is looking here, but once we open up the box, we'll get a proper look at her. We'll also take a look at her weapon, her staff, and her little blade boomerang that she wears on her hip. Now, spoiler warning, I will be making references to what happens throughout the season of Power Rangers in Space. So if you've not watched it, pause this video, take a day or two or a couple days to watch it on Netflix, which is still on there. In fact, all the Power Rangers seasons are on Netflix right now. So watch the entire season, and then you're ready to watch the rest of this video. Now, of course, we were just looking at the front. I do like the art that they did for the Ranger here. And honestly, Astronema wore several different colors of hair, but I guess this is like the main one of hers. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, as I said, this is my first 2-pack. So, as I mentioned here, there is some... Oh, it'll help if I get my blade out. There is tape on both sides of the box, right here and right here. So, now, I don't know. It looks... Now, just before even opening, it looks pretty much that the... the Ranger figure is pretty much like all the other figures we've had in the past. I just did a very thin cut along the tape here, not to damage the box. I mean, you guys know I'm not a box collector or an inbox collector, but I want to take as much, you know, who knows? Maybe I know someone who needs this box. So I'm going to save the box for a while. Usually I just tear right into the packages and toss them like there's no tomorrow. But I'm not going to do that this time, guys. Lifting this right out. Okay, like always, there's the legal, all the copyright mentions right there. I do like this background. This background's pretty sharp. It gives us a full look at the Power Rangers Lightning Bolt, but with a nice little in space kind of background. This is actually pretty sharp. I like that. Okay, we do not have any kind of strings or plastic zippies holding these characters in, nor their accessories. Okay, we get 2 alternate fists or hands for Astronema. We get the energy effect, which will be used for both weapons as they're merged. We have her staff, Andros' spiral saber, and we have 2 alternate hands for him as well. One with a point like, hey, you. And the other one appears to be closed fist. And, of course, we have Andros's head as an alternate. I think this is actually pretty good for him. For his head and face, that looks pretty spot on. The hair, some of the coloring of the hair could have been a little bit lighter, you know. But for the most part, that's pretty spot on for him. So they did a pretty good job with his application right there. We got his blue Space Ranger blaster, which I mean, the blaster itself, it's pretty good. I mean, it's got the mega ship Delta, whatever symbol you want to call that. Now, the top part here is, again, it's that gray molded plastic that we've seen them try and pass off as silver or aluminum at times. I'm thinking if you're really good at a brush, maybe nice little dry brushing of silver on there to maybe improve it. That's just my thought as far as the paint application. Because even if you look really close here, the paint like underneath in this little arch area does not look that great. I'm sure, I apologize if I'm not getting a good enough appearance with the camera, but I'm catching it with my eyes. So it's almost like part of the airbrushing or plastic is on the top part of the gun right there. And I apologize if it's not coming through that well, guys. Let me see if well, we do that. No, that's worse. There we go. Better. Sorry about that, guys. Let's put Andros and his gun over there. So we get your basic fist on its little hinge. So you can pose it in different ways. Your basic fist. It's like, hey, baby, what are you doing? Hey. And of course the fist. Yeah, get off my lawn, kids. Yeah. I know. I gotta have a little bit of fun. Okay. So. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that, guys. I'm just gonna set her off to the side so you can take a look here. Now, right off the bat, there's some blemishes here right off the bat. I know it's mass produced and take it or leave it, guys. Now right here, don't know if you guys can see, but we got a little scuff mark right there. Right there. If you're really good and if you have fine enough brush, you can probably fix that yourself. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of imperfections on here. I mean, if you really look close here, it almost looks like taped pieces going across, at least on this side. We have a few more scratches or scuffs right there on the dome part of his helmet. That could just be random QC issues. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too well, but you can see the scuffs and how uneven this is. I mean, there's even a little overlap here. If you guys can see that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, this could just be the set that I got. Maybe I should have took a closer look before I grabbed this one and bought it. But those are the breaks. That's what we kind of have to deal with. Now, even though he's got the belt here, a little molded piece for a little molded piece for the belt buckle. And again, we have a little two-tone here if he's moving the shoulder joints around. I mean, for the most part, I mean, the torso looks a little darker than the legs. and some of the arms. Another thing is, I mean, inside these little pin joints, if that's what you call them, I mean, there's some of the paint is not the greatest here. I'll be honest. I would have liked better, especially since, I mean, this is what, wave 6 now. They could have done a little bit better. Or is wave 6 or wave 7? Correct. You know, give me a clarification in the comments section below if I am wrong. Now, as far as his Spiral Saber is actually pretty good, actually. I really like this. I mean, I like that they, you know... Oh, no. We got a little spot of some kind of yellow paint on here. I don't know if... I'm hoping you guys... Yeah, you guys can see that right there. I mean, this is like a flat black almost. I mean, you can take some black on just very fine brush and kind of just top it off and you're good. Okay? So far, let's recap some of the grievances. Some of the helmet is a little scuffed. Another scuff down here. I mean, we could chop that up to battle scars. I mean, if I really want, I could kind of do some little dry brushing, maybe some filings, and apply some wear and tear. Now, here's something else, guys. Look at this. We got some yellow on the upper neck part. Of course, that's covered by the head. And if you look closely to the neck here, we got a little streak of yellow going right there, guys. I mean, that's kind of lousy. Very, very lousy. And I tell you what, I know it's not that big of an issue, guys, but if I'm coming across this, and I'm praying you guys don't come across those issues, but if you do, I'm actually I doubt that I'm gonna get any kind of communications on this. What I may actually do is I may actually send an email with a link to this video to Hasbro, just to show them, I mean, the kind of first impressions. I mean, even down here is very light. I mean, the belt itself is pretty good. Most of the figure is good. I mean, if you've had a Ranger figure before, you know what kind of joints we're working with. This is basically the same body, just slightly different paint application. But like this right here, I mean, that's just unsightly. And then, I mean, sure, yeah, if we put the head on, Andros' hair is going to cover that up. You really don't see anything here. I mean, they took time to do his earring gold. I mean, if they take that kind of consideration, I mean, they could have done a little bit better on the helmet's paint job here. And I mean, if you really, in person, you can really see the scratches and the unevenness. I mean, these little scratches on the dome, I can almost forgive those if they did more of a, like a tint part that went on here. But I get this is all molded plastic. Or no, this is a separate part. It would have been cool, because in the show, each of the Rangers, sorry guys, each of the Rangers had a special equipment in the top of their helmet. One person had like a camcorder, another one had computer parts. You know, there was like different things that was supposed to represent futuristic technology. So, the figure itself stands up pretty well. If I do enough pounding, he will tip over, but that's why we use these little stands. I have these NECA stands. They work out pretty well, especially if you want to maybe display a weapon either front or behind them or next to them, or they could be holding it. I have gotten the clear stands. I get these, I'll usually order them on Amazon, and they hold the characters up fairly well. But these NECA ones, they're actually pretty good because you... Sorry, I have stuff on my desk here. They're actually pretty good if you want to display your Ranger with their head. And you can have the helmet right there. Kind of like, you know, when they're in a command center on the bridge of the mega ship. You know. All in all, he seems to be a pretty stable figure. It's just the paint applications that just kind of like, they're little annoyances. And again, look, back here we have some more scuffs on the back of the stripe of his suit right here. I'm not talking about this shoulder part. I'm talking about right here, guys, the upper torso. I'm hoping I just happen to get a bad one. I'm really hoping that that's the case and that this is not a repeat issue with everyone. But please beware. At the very least, you can see, take a really good close look at the package before you buy it to see if there's these scuff marks. If there are, if you see any of those marks and issues, you probably want to look for a different package that looks a little bit better. Like again, I say I really hope that this is a one-off issue, that not everybody is going to have this issue. And what's really weird is I can't understand how they could get this kind of yellowish stain right there, because we don't have that inside the heads here. Okay, guys? Now, this is almost reminiscent of the faint yellow that is on here. It's not even... it's fairly close to his hair color. But that's just really... It's disappointing, guys. That's what it is. It's very disappointing. The head goes back on. Very nice. You know what's really bothering me, though? When I look at it, I see that scuff, and that scuff is off-center, and it throws off looking at his helmet, which almost makes the gold piece right here look off-center, even though it isn't off-center. So, let's go ahead and we'll throw his spiral saber in his hand. See how well can we pose him. Now this desk I have here is not the greatest when it comes to balance. It's very uneven, but there we go. We get a nice little pose like he's in action. So there is Andros. So let's move on to Astronema. Now, if you haven't watched Power Rangers in Space, it is the direct continuation. Oh, we got a little bit of tape here, guys. Nope, no, I'm mistaken. It's not tape. They did one of those loops. Now, Power Rangers in Space is the direct continuation of Power Rangers Turbo, where the power chamber was destroyed by Divatox. And the Turbo Rangers, with the exception of Justin, go to their version of NASA called Nasada. And they take their shuttle and they decide to go into space. One, because they don't have powers, they need to try and protect the Earth. And second, to try and find Zordon to protect him, because they find out that he's in trouble. Well, while they're in space, they come across a spaceship, which is basically being piloted by Andros. And he is not a friendly person. He's had a lot of loss in his life and doesn't trust people. Well, Andros is on a one-man mission to try and save Zordon and protect the universe. He doesn't want to trust the Earth Rangers because they're just planetary rangers. They don't know nothing better. Eventually, thanks to Alpha, he decides to trust them and they form a new team. Now, on the staff's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice, a little bit better paint application, which actually can be done pretty simply. Wrap a little bit of painter's tape on here. Nice little silver. Give it a clear coat. Again, you could probably tape this up here. A lot of this is uneven and rough. I mean, her staff in the show was kind of uneven and rough. You can see the circles from where the plastic was. A little bit of plastic chunk right here. A little bit uncolored chunk right there. I'll probably top that off with a little bit of gold, try and cover that up. But yeah, there's more QC questions about this, guys. I mean, if you look at the sides here, you can see that this is not even at all, guys. I'm really disappointed. Like, look, there's this little chunk right here, guys. Don't know how well that's coming off on camera, but you guys can see that. I mean, that's disappointing. Now, as far as Astronema herself, she's got this weird color, like blue, light blue to dark blue transition going on in her hair there. And it continues on the front where she has her hair. Now, as far as her arms, her forearms, she has these gauntlets, you know, almost Batman style armored gauntlets here. Now, on her leg, she's got this little thing so she can actually, I believe this is for her boomerang. Her bladering, if you want to call that. I don't know if this moves on her leg. It feels like it should move to the side. But I also don't want to do damage to this. It does move, okay? It does move. So we can probably rotate that to the side. And there we go. Much better. That looks much better, guys. Right? Right. So we can have her weapon pop on its peg, and it's just hanging right there. Okay. Let's throw the staff in her hand. This is kind of like, you know, this is her, you know, want to be Lord Zed kind of staff action going on. And of course, later in the series, it's revealed who she really is. Astronema is actually the sister of Andros, who was kidnapped years and years ago when they were little kids by Dark Kanda. So yeah, really, I mean, Power Rangers, you know, going with the dark stories right there. Gotta be careful with her. Her elbows are pretty damn stiff, guys, so you gotta be careful with that. Some of the art, like this is supposed to be a necklace, but it blends way too much with the armor here. And this, of course, is the locket where she had her childhood picture of herself and her brother Andros. Andros wore a very similar locket. They could have done a little bit of paint to show some contrast between the armor and the locket. I mean, they threw a ton of detail and circuitry like on the gauntlets right here, guys. I mean, that's great detail. I love how they'll throw great details like that in there. But when it comes to other things, there's so many other paint issues here. It's a bit upsetting at times. Well, I can't say upsetting. It's just disappointing. I mean, they did texture, like a net style texture on her tunic here. They got great detail on her shoulder armor here. I don't know what the proper name for that is, guys. Sorry. Some more sloppy paint application. Like, they have the gold right here on the hair. Like, right there. So that braid is like, it's also has it on her hair. It's pretty lousy. I suppose you could remove her head if you try really hard, but it's on there pretty good. Could just be the one I have. So this is definitely one solid piece. They did a good job on the eyes. It's just, I think it's a little too much makeup on the chins, or on the cheeks. But, it's their interpretation of Power Rangers. Now, as far as her character or her body frame, it's very reminiscent of Ranger Slayer, Evil Alternate Universe Pink Ranger. How well does she stand? She's a little top heavy. Let's see if we can... So it looks like her, I might actually need to get a regular, a proper stand for her. I'll be ordering some more soon. But she has a pretty good look. Kind of neutral look. Like, we don't have an angry face for her. It's not a snarl. It's just very neutral. I guess that works. That's just my opinion. But like I said before, some of the paint, some of the applications on here, I think could have been done better. There is nothing special back here. You see like a piece of the, I guess this part that wraps around her, is a little bit more separated than the rest of her. I don't know if you guys can see that here. Here, let's see if I can do it at a different angle. See what I mean? But I guess this can be used to remove this. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, so yeah, this does unclamp. Very much like the Hasbro Plasma Series Ghostbusters. That's how you can take their packs off. So I guess you would take her head off. Kind of don't want to do any damage to it, but that is a thing you could do. You could remove this. There's nothing underneath. It's just the black part of the tunic. So I guess if you wanted to do some paint applications, you probably could. I'm not planning to do that myself. At least not on here. Maybe on the staff to touch up a few things. Maybe file this little piece of plastic off and then do some paint application afterwards. But all in all, her body's pretty... the figure itself is pretty good here. Now, of course, see, this is another thing. This thing for her boomerang, once you start moving it, it starts to get a little loose. So you may want to keep it maybe slightly at an angle. Like you guys can see right there. Maybe keep that at an angle so it's not sliding off, because... There we go. See? It just slid all the way down. I guess you could just remove this right off the leg if you wanted to. It's a thing you could do. You could do some silver paint applications and make some changes. That is a thing you could do, guys. So, now this came out pretty well. So I wouldn't say that we necessarily need to do anything a little... Well, again, there's a little smudge of plastic there. But that's neither here nor there or anywhere. So, here we have Astronema. And I have to take a look at this energy. The energy is pretty cool. This is a brand new energy effect. Not sure how we would... I'll have to take a look at the box, play around with the energy effect. But we have brother and sister battling each other, like brothers and sisters do, except they have powers. And she's trying to take over the whole universe. So, there we are. Now, for comparison, I actually purposely grabbed a head of Doggy Kruger, Shadow Ranger, and just as I thought, they pretty much used almost the same blues here. So very reminiscent of that. And I just realized I have some silver on Kruger's face here, and I'll have to fix that another time. But I mean, I got these for $39.99 at Target, and I was shocked because I'm in New York State myself. Usually we won't. I wasn't expecting to get these for a couple months, but all in all, the figure itself this is a pretty good figure. I'm still disappointed at the paint applications here on Andros, but there we are. We have the unbox, and I'm not sure about the posability. I'll have to play around with it. As far as her posability, I mean, we'll have to get some more. And not even Stan won't even really give her much. Oh, there we go. So that gives a little bit of posability. I mean, she's just like if you've had the. The Ranger Slayer. That's the only female Lightning Collection figure I have right now because Trini and so many of the others have been hard to get. I'm really on the fence. I really don't want to get. Well, I shouldn't say I'm on the fence. I'm really not psyched about the cat figure that they have for MMPR because I didn't like that glittery, sparkly looking armor that they have. So I'm just not crazy about that. It'd be great, again, Hasbro, if you did accessory kits. So if you gave us like alternate head sculpts or extra weapons or just maybe a combination pack of different energy effects, that would be great, guys. But that is the unboxing for the Rangers right now for the 2-pack. And I will be back in a few seconds with my final thoughts. Okay, and we're back. So, there you guys saw, excuse me, the unboxing. So, my final thoughts on these figures. Then, as always, we're getting 2 different accessories for hands. They did a pretty good job on Andros' head. I mean, that's pretty spot on for him. The hair, I think they went a little too solid blonde. They could have done some texture lines, but I guess for mass production, it's a little hard to do that. But I think they really did a good job with his head, though. I don't know. I got to get a better camera so it does the autofocus. But I mean, the figure itself, pretty solid. The only thing that brings me down on this, that grades this figure downwards, is the repeat paint application issues. I mean, I lost count between the front helmets, the lower white line by his visor, the top, there's 2 scuff marks here, and just the inconsistency around here. And then, of course, if you pull the head off, there was like a bunch of yellow going down his neck. And then the yellow part around the neck, below the neckline area, there's a little bit of yellow running up the side of his neck there. Different from the other yellow that I was talking about. I mean, in the back here, I mean, we have some misses here. I mean, for one, a Target exclusive. I mean, this is not, they had regular 2-packs, but then they also had these Target exclusive, which I was hoping would have been a slightly better quality. It wasn't. I mean, yes, these are mass produced, and I'm hoping that my experience is different from you guys out there. I hope you guys have a better experience getting these. I mean, I'm still finding other, like, the red is not fully consistent on here. Almost as if the parts are different batches. That's a possibility. Again, I'm an out-of-box collector, so I know these are going to get scuffed more over time. However, it still rubs me the wrong way. I'm hoping there's going to be better ones out there. I hope you guys do much better than I have. There's a lot of pieces that I am probably planning on doing some paint applications to. over time. But Astronema, for the most part, she's a pretty good character right there. I mean, it's pretty much. I'm pretty sure that they probably just reused um, the Ranger Slayer. But I mean, like the armor on her, the staff. Some of the staff has QC issues. QC for quality control. I mean, there's little. You can see edges of extra plastic right where the diamond blade itself meets the staff. I don't know how well that's coming out because this camera does not autofocus, guys, and I apologize for that. Um, but there's definitely stuff on here where I'm going to be doing different paint applications to try and tidy it up. I don't know how well that will be, but we'll see. So, as far as the rating of this, this retailed for $39.99 for the two characters. Marking it down for the extra chunks of plastic in certain spots, or the poor paint application. As far as a scale of 1 to 10, I have to rate this between, I hate to say this, but like maybe a 6.5 to a 7.5. Had it not been for the paint issues, I probably would have said 8.5 to a 9. I mean, the paint issues, I mean, they're not the end of the world, but for someone who's collecting all his favorite Rangers, and I'm going to keep them out on display, which means other people are going to see them. I mean, those kind of things, they're going to say, hey, well, what happened here? Well, that's how I got them. You know, I just found some more. There's like a missing paint scratch there, right by his shoulder there, and I just took these out of the box, guys. That's again, I mean, that's really disappointing. So I mean, you know, this is ranging between a 6.5 to a 7.5. You know what? Not even that. 6.5 to a 7. At best is what I'm rating this. So unless, like I said when I opened this up, unless you are, you know, if you can at least, obviously you can't see the back when they're in the box, but you can at least see the front visual of the figures themselves. So, if you are able to, if you're at a store and you see a couple of these, take a look at each one. See if you can notice any kind of imperfections through the plastic, through that front window. You know, that's going to be your best bet. It's just really sad that, you know, I, got this set that has some poor paint qualities. I have another 2-pack, the SPD 2-pack, and I'll be doing a separate video on that. So we'll see if there's still the same kind of paint issues there. If it is, I might reconsider moving forward with this Lightning collection. I hate to say that, but I mean, there's been the issues with the faces, and I'm just glad we have the helmet, so you can just go with the helmet and skip the face, skip the head, keep it in a container, which is what I've done with a lot of my stuff. But if these kinds of issues really keep happening, Hasbro, you're gonna have a lot of angry emails, or you're gonna see less purchasing, less pre-orders happening here. I hate to say that. Like I said it before, I've been a fan of the Lightning collection so far. There's been certain figures I have not gotten because of the heads and because of some of the quality control issues I've seen in other people's videos. Billy, Blue Ranger, has always been a favorite of mine from the Power Rangers. But I skipped him because his character just looked weird, and like, if I would have got that, I would have got him and threw the head somewhere. You know, it's just, you guys, you do great with the Marvel. You do great with some of the with anything that's creature oriented. You guys knock it out of the park. Even the Hasbro Ghostbuster plasma figures, they came out really well. in my opinion, some of the best faces we've seen in any of the Ghostbuster figures for the movies. I mean, you guys did an amazing job with Harold Ramis as Egon Spengler. You did fantastic. But these issues on your, what was it, your sixth or seventh wave now? It's just, it rubs people the wrong way. And I mean, especially since this was the third iteration of Power Rangers, you think there would be a little bit more attention, but no, this is kind of disappointing. You know, I mean, had we had maybe another accessory in here, I would have loved the glider. I would have loved it. Um, but of course, you would have probably charged another, $5 or $10 maybe on it. And okay, let me rephrase that. Realistically, probably $10 to $15. Um, but the paint really knocks us down. I mean, it's very disappointing. And guys, if you can, check yours out. You know, pick up the box, look at it. Do you see some poor paint applications on the front? Because if you notice anything on the front, you're going to notice it on the back. So if yours you take a look at a box, you see the package, it looks good. You're going to decide, hey, this one looks good. I'm going to take a chance on it. Please do. And please hit me up in the comments section below and let me know if you had the same issues, maybe the same exact paint quality issues that I had. If not, please let me know if you guys had a better experience, if you found that your figures were looking much better, you didn't have the same issues as me, please let me know. I would love to know. Because, I mean, all this information is going to help other people when they go to the stores or maybe they purchase them online. I know these sets are available Target, Entertainment Earth. I don't know if they're sold out on Hasbro Pulse. They might be. Who knows? But I mean, they're available in a lot of different resources, and you're going to see more coming out soon. I mean, they just released these, so hey. So those are my thoughts. I thought this video was going to be a lot more positive. It didn't go that way, guys. So until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying, if you like this video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and smash that bell so we can keep bringing you more and more videos and help support this channel so we can keep on growing, guys. So until next time, keep on busting, and I'll catch you on the flip side.